9 signs you have a fear of intimacy with people. Today we're diving deep into a topic that hits close to home for many, the fear of intimacy. But hold up, it's not just about physical closeness. We're talking emotional connections, vulnerability, and baring your soul to another person. Join me as we unravel the telltale signs that you might be struggling with intimacy. Trust me, this is an eye-opener you won't want to miss. Before we dive in, if you're new here, please press that red button to subscribe to our channel and comment, "I've subscribed," so we can thank you. Number 9. You avoid relationships altogether. Have you noticed a pattern of running away from relationships, even when you're genuinely drawn to someone? This reluctance might be rooted in a fear of intimacy. An issue can emerge from various factors, such as past negative experiences, fear of emotional vulnerability, or the worry of being hurt. By dodging relationships altogether, you're inadvertently constructing barriers that prevent you from exploring and experiencing the profound love and connection that can enrich your life. Recognizing this fear is the first step to overcoming it, allowing you to embrace new opportunities for meaningful relationships and connections. Number 8. You struggle to express your feelings. When it comes to sharing your emotions, do you find it hard to open up to people? That's another sign that you might have a fear of intimacy. You might worry about being judged, rejected, or not understood. But bottling up your feelings can lead to anxiety and depression. It also keeps others at a distance. Have you ever felt like you wanted to tell someone how you felt, but you just couldn't find the right words? Or maybe you get tongue-tied when you're trying to explain your emotions and end up staying quiet instead. This is totally normal if you have a fear of intimacy. It's scary to open up with someone else and be vulnerable, especially if you're worried about getting hurt. You might worry that if you express how you feel, the other person will judge you or reject you. But bottling up your feelings is not healthy, you know. It can actually make your fear of intimacy worse. Plus, when you're not able to share your emotions with others, it can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness. So if you find it hard to express your feelings, maybe try starting small. You can write down your thoughts in a journal or practice expressing your emotions with someone you trust. Remember, vulnerability is scary, but it's also a crucial part of building intimacy and connecting with others. Number 7. You have trust issues. Having trust issues is another sign of a fear of intimacy. If you find it hard to trust people, it could be because you're afraid of getting hurt. Maybe you've been betrayed or let down in the past, and now you struggle to let people in. But trust is a crucial part of any relationship, and without it, you can't build the emotional closeness that intimacy requires. Number 6. You keep people at a distance. Do you find it hard to let people get too close to you, either physically or emotionally? That's another sign that you have a fear of intimacy. You might put up walls to protect yourself, or you might keep people at arm's length so they can't hurt you. But building a connection with someone requires vulnerability, and that means letting them in. Have you ever felt like you're building a wall between you and other people so they can't get too close to you? Maybe you avoid physical touch or you're hesitant to share personal information with others. This is a sign that you have a fear of intimacy, and it's totally understandable. It's scary to let someone else in, especially if you've been hurt in the past. You might worry that if you let someone get too close, they'll hurt you again. But building walls between you and others isn't healthy and can actually make your fear of intimacy worse. Plus, when you keep people at a distance, you're not able to build the emotional connection that's necessary for intimacy. So if you find yourself keeping people at a distance, try taking small steps towards vulnerability. You can start by opening up about small things and work your way up to more personal topics. And remember, it's okay to take your time and go at your own pace. Building intimacy takes time and effort, but it's worth it in the end. Number 5. You self-sabotage your relationships. When you do enter into a relationship, do you find yourself sabotaging it in some way? Maybe you pick fights or you push the other person away. This can be a sign that you have a fear of intimacy and are trying to protect yourself from getting hurt. Number 4. You have a hard time accepting love. If you have a fear of intimacy, you might also have a hard time accepting love from others. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve it, or that you worry that it's not genuine. But accepting love and affection from others is an important part of building intimacy and trust in a relationship. This can manifest in many ways, such as feeling uncomfortable when someone compliments you, or being hesitant to say "I love you" in return. Having a fear of intimacy can make it difficult to open up and be vulnerable with others. You might feel like you don't deserve love, or worry that if you let someone love you, they'll eventually leave or hurt you. However, accepting love and affection is a crucial part of building intimacy and trust in a relationship. When you're able to accept love, it helps deepen your emotional connection and build trust with the other person. So if you find yourself struggling to accept love, try practicing self-love and compassion. Remind yourself that you are worthy of love and that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. When someone shows you love and affection, try accepting it with an open heart and mind and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Number 3, you struggle with physical touch. Physical touch is a big part of intimacy, and if you have a fear of it, it can be a sign that you're afraid of getting too close to someone. You might feel uncomfortable with hugs or kisses or even holding hands, but physical touch is an important way of showing love and affection, and without it, you might struggle to build a deeper connection. Number 2, you avoid deep conversations. If you're afraid of intimacy, have you ever found yourself avoiding topics that are too personal or emotional? Maybe you stick to small talk and avoid discussing anything that may make you vulnerable. This is a sign that you have a fear of intimacy, and it's totally understandable. It's scary to open up and be vulnerable with someone, especially if you're worried about getting hurt. You might worry that you share too much. The other person will judge you or reject you, but avoiding deep conversations can actually hinder your relationships. It's important to build emotional closeness and trust with the people in your life, and that can only happen when you're willing to be vulnerable and open. So if you find yourself avoiding deep conversations, try starting small. You can share something personal about yourself and see how the other person responds. And if the conversation goes well, you can build on it and start sharing more. Remember, vulnerability is scary, but it's also a crucial part of building intimacy and connection with others. Number 1, you're always the one in control. If you're someone who always needs to be in control of a situation, that can also be a sign that you have a fear of intimacy. Maybe you're afraid of letting go and being vulnerable, so you always need to be in charge. But true intimacy requires a give and take, where both people are willing to be vulnerable and let go of control. So if you find yourself always needing to be in control, practice letting go in small ways. You can start by letting someone else choose where to go for dinner, or by allowing someone else to plan a date. And if it goes well, you can continue to practice letting go and being vulnerable. Remember, vulnerability is scary, but it's also a crucial part of building intimacy and connection with others. And there you have it. Those are the 9 signs that you might have fear of intimacy with people. But don't worry. If you recognize any of these signs in yourself, there are things you can do to work on them. One thing you can do is start small. Try opening up to someone you trust about something that's been bothering you, or try holding hands or giving someone a hug. Start with small acts of vulnerability and work your way up to bigger ones. Another thing you can do is work on your self-esteem. If you have a fear of intimacy, it might be because you don't feel good enough or worthy of love. But working on your self-esteem can help you feel more confident and comfortable in your relationships. And finally, consider seeking therapy or counseling. A therapist can help you work through any past traumas or negative beliefs that might be holding you back from intimacy. Remember, intimacy is natural and an important part of human connection. Don't let your fear of it keep you from experiencing love, connection, and happiness in your relationships. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.